All right, today I'm going to show you how to install a new light fixture. Um, got this one off Amazon. This is the old one hanging here. I've already started, but got a new one off Amazon. Pretty similar. They're all pretty easy to install for the most part, but we'll go ahead and walk you through it. So what I've done already is I've already taken off the glass cover. Essentially, just sat on the bottom like this, and there was one little um, nut on there that, or cap, I guess, that lowers this off so you can get to the access to light bulbs, like you've probably done when you change light bulbs. So did that, and then for this specific light, there's just these two little screws that I just took out, and it's going to drop the whole thing down. Next, I'm going to disconnect those wires. Obviously, before you do any of this, make sure your breaker box is shut off so you don't get zapped. This one's pretty easy. There's only 3 wires, a ground, and then you got your positive and your negative, white and black there. So they match up with the house colors, so it'll be real easy. I went ahead and unscrewed the wire nuts, and now I'm going to go ahead and undo the ground, which is screwed in, the standard screw right into the box. All right, here's a new one next to the old one. Pretty similar, so it should install pretty easy. There's the base. As you can see, pretty much the same thing. This one's what, satin metal or something, I don't know. Just different color. It does have 2 outlets for the bulbs, whereas this one only had 1, so it's going to be a little bit brighter, and there will be a little bit more wiring. But really, all I'm going to do is add 1 extra wire into those wire nuts. So pretty easy, still just a ground. And we'll go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and connect the ground first to the same basic wire, because it also acts as kind of a support to hold it up and dangle. All right, as you can see, I have the ground attached, and it's also using it as a anchor to hold it up while I do the electrical aspect of it. Getting pretty easy here. You got 2 wires coming from the house, and then I got 4 wires for the actual fixture. I'm going to tie the blacks together and the whites together, and then I'm going to screw them together to the power. Alright, I already got the blacks connected. I'm going to kind of go through a little bit more step by step for the other set of wires. So first thing I'm going to do is take off the 2 end caps. They're already cut, so I don't have to use any wire cutters or strippers. And this one obviously is see there. Pretty easy. I twisted these 2 together. The one thing, I always go clockwise, just because when you put on the nut, it's gonna twist clockwise to tighten, so you don't want unraveling, you want it to get tighter and tighter. So the same thing will go when I attach it to the house. I'm gonna wrap it around this way, so once I do put the wire nut on there, it just gets tighter and tighter. A little blurry, but you can kind of see how it's wrapped clockwise around there if you're looking at the ends of the wires. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put the wire nut on it. All right, I got it all wired up. Now it's just hanging there. Now, luckily, this is almost a perfect match. So my 2 anchor screws for my fixture are actually going to go straight into the box, and they align exactly with how this is designed. If not, your fixtures usually come with a plethora of different parts, and you can use an adjustment right here to get the height and the distance and stuff like that. Luckily, most of it matches up pretty good, so I don't have to even bother opening that. Alright, this is probably one of the most annoying parts, is you got all this insulation that you have to get those screws through. There's a couple different ways you can do it. You can hold it up and go kind of shoot through the bottom and hope that you find the the box that you're looking for, or you can do like I'm doing, put the screws, just barely put them in there, and then mount it up and try to dig through that insulation as you go. Just depends on what you're using, which one's a better way, which one works easier. I'm going to try this way first. So as you can see, the first screw went pretty good. The second screw is in there, but it's actually not anchored or screwed in anything. So I'm going to have to play with that a little bit to find where its home is. It should take a few minutes, kind of the annoying part. So I've been fiddling with it for a little bit. Screw keeps getting lost on the other side, so I'm gonna put the other one already in, like I have the first one, and then kind of dig my way through. Hopefully I can find the holes on the other side, like I did the first time. Sorry, here we go. All right, so now I'm just gonna push this up, fiddle with it a little bit, and hopefully those screws come through their holes they need to be at. Actually, that went better than it usually does. I found it pretty quickly. So right now they're in there. I just have to tighten them up and then anchor this so it's flush with the ceiling. And then we're moving on to the next step. Next step is putting on the threaded pipe post that holds on the glass. Hardest thing with this is making sure it's the right height adjustment. So we're gonna start out easy, and then maybe plumb it up as needed. So that's the old one. New one, as you can see, doesn't have it. It already has a bolt there. I'm gonna go ahead and thread this pipe in. Pretty easy. And then I also have this nut that will lock it in place when I do get the right height. But right now I'm just gonna try to see how much length I need for the glass. So pick the glass up. As you can see, there's quite a bit extra. I don't think I need that much, so I'm gonna go ahead and tighten it up a little bit more. All right, I got the accurate length. I just put it in there, put the glass bowl underneath it, then I put the nut on there, and everything was flush. So now I'm gonna tighten it up and then finish it up. All right, and you can see that's a little tightening nut right there. I turn it, so now this won't turn unless I loosen it back up. So it should be good and stable. All right, I put the bulbs in. I'm assuming you guys know how to do that. Then I put the glass on. You can see I have about a half inch, a quarter inch of thread left. This actually has kind of a more secure bolt to secure it to the glass. Just be cautious. That just needs to be snug. Tighten it up too much, you're going to crack the glass, which you don't want to do. Have to do it all over again. Then you're going to go ahead and find the trim piece if it has one. Right there. And then just thread that on. Hopefully you didn't make it too long, so it fits nice and snug. Screw it on. There it is. You can see nice and flush. And that is it. I'll show you what it looks like here in a second. And there we are. Not a whole lot difference. A better trim, more modern trim, and an extra bulb so the room's a little bit brighter. I literally only used one tool and a screwdriver, a Phillips head screwdriver for this one. If you have to use some of the other parts, you might need to use some wire cutters, wire strippers, maybe a small wrench, depending on how snug that thread pipe is. But that's it. Easy enough.